Spirited Away, things like
Oh, well,
that.
there's a few. There's definitely a few. I'm more into animated than he is, but there's a few animes he likes.
So would you ever like maybe watch an anime movie that like doesn't have a series to it so that you can keep up with it?
You know, one movie, I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but when I saw it, and I like it, don't get me wrong, I like it, but it'd be very easy to do for a Nostalgia Critic review, and it's newer and stuff, I think would just get a lot of good jokes. I love to do Ponyo. I just think
Ponyo is an awesome movie. You shut
No,
up.
I like it, I do like it, but it's so odd, and it's so strange. I think there's so much you can talk, there's so much that doesn't make sense, there's a lot you can talk about. I would do it as an angry review, I do it like how I did. You know, like, hey, I like this, but this is weird. Mr. T! Mr. T!
Hey, brother, so at the end of the tale, I like to get my picture taken with Zod. First you nailed me before me, and me nailed before you.
You got it, man, you got it. I love this guy. This guy.
You should know. You gotta do your Stallone.
This guy. Oh, yeah, that's good. Because I'm fine, right? That's right. I'll pity you. I just have you, Adrian.
All I can do is the robot. Happy birthday, boy.
Yeah, it's red. Yeah. I know, actually the one right behind it. No. I'll bet you.
Okay. I don't know, have you ever had like a technical accident or something that happens while you're driving?
We broke a Teddy Ruxpin.
That was a great. No, actually, there is. I think I copied over, but there is one where it's this great footage where I'm starting off the review, and just one of my lights, for whatever reason, just goes and falls over, and it's just the footage of me is just going. That's why I really hate.
We lost a vase or something when doing the crossover with Lindsay too. The dancing tree knocked something over.
Yeah, there's a scene when we did whatever the date with the nostalgia chick, and the dancing tree actually knocks this glass or face over. It wasn't
It was a nightmare because we had a lot of wind and a lot of dogs on the property next door that kept making noise.
Yeah, so there's a lot of little technical things, and whenever it happens, you just work with it, work around it, see if you incorporate it in there. Just do the best you can. Or like
Mostly it's Doug's computer that blows up. That's the biggest
no,
problem.
it's been now that and my voice keeps disappearing. I think it's disappeared like 3 times now since I started doing this. And I've always had to.
You really need to
do
give you an
something.
automatic voice modulator like Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, well, that's why we did in Alone in the Dark. That's why I do it on the computer, because it's just like, I don't have a voice, so I just had to. I think there was starting to, man, sorry, I sounded like this, so it wouldn't be good. So, yeah, there's been a lot of.
He tripped in Kick-Assia.
What's that?
Rob, he tripped in Kick-Assia.
Oh, yeah, that's like he tripped in King
Yeah, I
Assia.
still got a scar.
Actually, if you get the DVD, you can see how massive his.
It looked like I got shot.
Yeah, it looks like a bullet wound.
Yeah, because the guy's path was lined with these really sharp rocks. It was this uneven terrain to begin with. So it was this dirt path.
He protects his nation well.
Yeah, and he lined it with all these sharp rocks on either side of the path. And of course, Doug's like, okay, Rob, what I need to do is we're going to be charging towards you. You're going to be running backwards as fast as you can.
Do it! Do it!
Holding the camera, focusing on my beautiful face the entire time. You know, Doug, I think that's kind of dangerous. So yeah, and I cut it on that rock, and the doctor afterwards was like, wow, that's like one of the worst injuries I've seen that didn't result in an actual break. Good job.
Yeah.
Two-part question on bad movies. You put a lot of attention into bad movies. First part is, do you find any commonality of what makes these movies bad? I mean, the things that you've seen happening, let's say maybe versus compare. The second part is, these movies make money, and why so many get made?
If you do it cheap enough, they can make money. It's the Disney direct to DVD syndrome.
No, actually, now here's a very true thing about movies, and that's why I try to say that even though there's a lot of me a nostalgia critic, it is a character, because in all honesty, it is not easy to make movies. It's not like one guy goes and says, I have a dream, let's just make it happen. No, everybody has to come in on it. You have to get funding. Everybody wants their thumbprint on it. They want their remark. They have changes. Nobody's 100% satisfied with the product. They all want to change it. And when you get so many people on there, it can very easily get lost. So that is a good chunk of it. Sometimes you just get a jerk who doesn't know what he's doing too. So.
I really think like the one commonality I've noticed among all of them is that if it's a bad movie, really sometimes you can get around certain things. Like if you have a good story and the acting's bad, you can kind of say, well, at least the story was good. Generally, it's just a bad story. If you've written a bad story, or if you're a lousy screenwriter, or what can happen, I've seen this happen a lot, is that you may have had a good script originally, but too many hands in the pot, like studio heads or whatever, too many changes made. If that script gets ruined, or something happens on set where it's just messed around too much, you can't recover from a bad script normally, because if your story's crap and everything, you can have the best actors in the world, but if you have the world's worst story, you're just going to be like, well, what the hell, why did you do that? Well, this doesn't make any sense. Well,
And I think there is a pattern to good, bad movies, and that makes sense. Like movies that are so bad they're enjoyable. And usually it's when anybody has a lot of passion about like really, man, this is like their opus or whatever, and it's just misguided. Like, it's in the wrong area. And those are so much fun. The Room is so much fun. Dungeons and Dragons is so. If you listen to the commentary on Dungeons and Dragons, I mean, they're just like, oh man, Marlon Wayne's a comedic genius. Yeah, he can just take a scene, just turn it into magic.
I have not seen comedy like this since, well, ever.
And Jeremy Irons, look at him holding back.
He's restraining himself. And Thurl Birch, she's giving it her all.
Yeah, I mean, it's great though, because you just turn out these incredibly strange bits of enjoyment. So
Generally, I would say generally it comes down to plot mechanics. Like watching enough of these bad films, I now go into regular, like real movies, and I'll be like, well, if I was a screenwriter, I would have done this instead. Well, this is too predictable. Because you start noticing these things. Like you can predict where the writer is going with certain things, and you start picking out the cliches.
our producer is like, no, you need this. No, there needs to be a misunderstanding here, so we need to get together.
Yeah, or you can tell now we've got adept at telling where like, oh no, the script was fine, and then somebody decided they just wanted to change it. Like, because one of these things is not like the other. So, but yeah, if you want another great commentary, the Lost in Space commentary is sad, because the director goes on about how I had a strained relationship with my father, and I wanted to create a movie that dealt with fathers and sons and how to overcome these differences, and it's about redemption, this and that. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, dude. That's noble you wanted to do that, but you made a shit movie.
Watch the Twilight commentary.
All I remember from it is
Spider-Man. As you can see, the Spider-Man had a few complications.
So, yeah, I hope that answers the question. Let's do Black Yoga classes.
Okay, first off, I love the performance in the movie.
In which one?
The Room where they
The Room, okay.
Yes. Also, where can I find
Titanic Animated Musical. Actually, I found out there's two.
There's another.
No. I swear I'm gonna do this one because this was you've seen it. There's a giant octopus that saves everybody at the end.
Just like the real Titanic.
That's my reaction.
Hold on.
Have you ever considered doing a review of the movie?
Which one?
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Don't touch it, it's pure evil. That is the weirdest thing to go over. So, I sort of like, I don't love the movie, but I do like it.
To answer the question of I found out about the original Titanic animated movie because I was babysitting some kids like years and years ago. It was like 1999, 2000 or something, and they had a copy of it, and they put it on, and I was watching this like mesmerized, like, what am I watching? So if somebody brought it up again, I told Doug about it. He's like, no, something like that can't exist. I'm like, yes, it does. Yes.
A rapping dog, come on.
Yeah, come on, rapping dog on the Titanic. No, happy ending. Why? So, but where did you get that copy? Because I never figured out where
It was like from Australia or something.
Some Australian black market.
Well, look at it for
It's an
eBay.
Italian production.
Yeah, so you can probably find it somewhere. So. Top 11 what? Actually, the next episode is top 11. I'll just tell you what it is.
Now you know. If you post it anywhere, I'll put you down.
It's the top 11 dumbest Spider-Man movie moments.
Believe me, I have a lot to say about 3.
I was gonna say, they're not all from 3.
Director's lucky to have all these stars and it makes him read and commentary and he says, oh, and these were so easy, like just kind of like put everything together and everybody just showed up and
That movie felt.
Yeah, no, Robert Rodriguez is a very, he's a very fascinating filmmaker because
He's like you with more money because he just
Yeah.
throws stuff together.
He just does
on
stuff
one
really
computer.
fast, and he's just like, yeah, I want to do this, and like he's so clever with what he does with technology. That's one of the few directors where it's like, if he puts something out, it's like, I'll at least look at it.
You have a 50-50 chance it's either going to be like the Spy Kids, good. Shark Boy, Lava Girl, not so much.
Or Sin City or something. When he really wants to do something different visually or just something different, it's like, I'll pay attention.
But it is funny you said that.
Was it one next week? I don't think it's as good
There
as
are moments
Desperado.
in it I like. My problem with the whole series entire, it's very much like the Evil Dead series, which is there's no continuity between any of them. I'm like, wait, so then his original girlfriend from part 2 is dead, from Desperado is dead? No, wait, what's going on? You know what? I give up.
I think maybe it was a little too aware it was a comedy that bugged me a bit because Desperado was sort of happy.
It was a
You
mix.
don't really know what it is, which I like movies where it's hard to say what it is. And that one, it's like, yeah, that's an action comedy.
I like Desperado.
Joe
It's the
shooting,
best of the
Joe
series.
shooting. So I thought it was okay. I like Desperado a lot more. So, who had the movie? The white. Yeah, hard from your letter thing. But yes.
Rocket.
Yeah. Okay. Rocket thing.
Go, Team Rocket!
They're making all these new incarnations of old shows like Thundercats and everything. Are you going to review those?
But say the question again. I'm sorry.
Are you going to review the new shows from Ultras like Thundercats?
Like
No,
all
you want to
versus
do
you.
Thundercats.
What are they doing? Are they doing a movie now? Are they doing a show? Are they doing a movie?
It's a show.
They're doing a new cartoon. I guess I don't know. I mean, it's like they're already sort of their own thing. I saw like at one point they're trying to bring He-Man back. I'm like, really, this was that good an idea? It's tie. They're sort of already their own thing. Thundercats, Christmas, I'm Jewish. Thundercats was really creative, and you probably could get pretty creative with it.
Do it, though. Do it.
I don't know.
Thundercats!
Oh! Sorry, love that.
What's wrong, Lionel? Snarf!
Okay, reject. Yes, purple sweater.
I know somebody asked you if you like anime. Have you ever heard of My Neighbor Totoro, the movie?
Oh yeah, all the Miyazaki stuff.
Yeah, Doug ruined that movie for me, by the way, because he couldn't get over the fact that the kids were in the
bath
bathtub with their father and kept making jokes about that. Oh, my daughter's missing? Honey, it's time for a bath. Oh, that normally works. I'm like, shut the hell up.
Yeah, when the daughters go missing, it's like, here, let me try. Come on, honey, it's bath time.
Here's the interesting thing about that movie, and I've been told I have no soul because of this, but that movie and E.T. are both like, I'm kind of like, eh? Like, I love Miyazaki films. That's never been one of my favorite. It's one of the few that I kind of get legitimately a little bored. Maybe I'm not in my right mindset, but I love Spirited Away, Nausicaa,
The Castle in the Sky.
Castle in the Sky, Castle Cagliostro. Like, I love most of them. For some reason, Totoro is just kind of more on the, like, it's a good movie, don't get me wrong, but it's more on the bottom of the list of my favorite Miyazaki films.
But yeah.
How you're saying how you hated Avatar and everyone else liked it. Like, well, what if there was a movie that did, did something different, a different take on this? And I mean, it seemed for just not okay, right? I'd probably consider that like a different.
But yeah, actually,
I want to see the eyes.
I actually feel bad I didn't bring that up. It's not on the site yet, but I did like.
Mononoke would have been a good example.
I did the top 10 movies that I hate, but everyone else likes. I put Avatar in there. And I should have brought up Mononoke, because that's an example of doing that very well.
Today I'm going to show
it's
you
not
how
just,
to kill a god.
Yeah, it's not just the humans are jerks and nature's right. It's complicated. So I do like that movie. I think that's one of his favorites. Yes, Blake, please.
Have you ever heard or seen Attack of the Super Monsters?
No.
Because you should see it. Because there's absolutely nothing in that movie done well. And it's so bad.
When did it come
It's
out?
like literally the best thing I've ever seen. It's like these dinosaurs live under the earth and they have superpowers and they shoot these lasers at
I think those are all
Japanese
available.
and then the animals are under their control and then the
Mystery Science Theater fans who may have seen this movie as well, is this Manos the Hands of Fate bad? This Attack of the Monster movie?
Is
It's
it
actually
enjoyable?
enjoyable?
Okay.
Okay.
We might check that.
Because Manos nearly broke Joel in the box, so.
Was it?
Like, the animated parts are anime, I guess, but like, even the script is bad.
Okay, Attack of the Super Monster. Okay, well, I
Whether
think
you
that.
review it or not, you have to see it.
Then just see it even if I don't review it.
Because if you
Just check it out. Okay. Hey, I'll probably do that.
Gimli. He's waving his sword. My shield.
I have only 7 words this time. Old versus new, gone in 60 seconds.
There's an old?
Yeah, they remade.
Yeah, it was like the 80s. Most
Oh, they're
parts
remaking
were
it?
in a movie.
What?
The old one.
No, the Nick Cage one, that's the new one, right?
Yeah.
Aren't they doing another one now, though? I thought they just
Might be doing
No, that's Drive Angry. Nick Cage. I'm
gonna
gonna
go
go crazy.
It's the same movie.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same movie.
It'll be 4K.
I haven't even seen the newer one, so I probably wouldn't be able to do that. At some point, I know
I didn't see the original, right?
Can I make a quick announcement?
Quick announcement, real quick.
The cosplay contest is taking place 2 o'clock in the ballroom for anyone who wants to participate in it.
I suggest
This will be
Mr. T
announced at the
get down there.
masquerade.
Awesome. Give her a round of applause, everybody.
She's announcing the cosplay contest? I never would have guessed.
Which I think also the autographs are happening in the ballroom, so head there anyway. Yeah, at the same time, so they'll be there.
Come for the autographs.
Like you hold it hand for
I know that when you go to these conventions, you probably get a lot of like the back credit card or
No, really. We haven't had any yet, have
I was
we?
just wondering which one's been used so much. It's just
that one, right at the
Yeah,
back.
credit card.
I was frozen. Actually, somebody had a question about like what's your favorite internet meme, I guess, you know. And what was your favorite, what's your least favorite? My answer to both of them was my own. You know, because at first, because when you hear, you know, someone go, that credit card, first thing goes in your head, there we go. And I do the big blow up. But the reaction immediately after reminds me why this was funny and just people laughing at it so hard. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, and every time there's always sort of this thought, really, again? But it's like once you do it and you see the reaction, like, yeah, that was totally worth it. That's definitely awesome.
Just made some little fan cry.
It's all the way in the back.
Have you guys ever seen Battle Royale, the live action?
Battle Royale? Nope.
Nope.
Oh.
Question? we'll check it out. We'll see if we can check it out. Text me if anyone have it. Did I give it this Dutch again?
And what kind of resolution do you have and how it was sewn? I noticed the review was removed and then you let it back on.
No resolution, we just put it out.
Yeah, that's really.
You heard back from them?
Nope.
No, we
have not heard from John from the roommovie.com.
Yeah, we're pretty sure.
You're telling me apart, Lisa.
We're not positive. We think John from the roommovie.com is also Tommy Wiseau.
There are a number of
email.
reporters who pretty much said that he's even admitted it all, but
I don't think he has money to pay anybody.
yeah.
But it's one of those things. We had a lawyer write him the definition of fair use.
For your edification.
Yeah, and then it's like, yeah, just put it back